Severs with the Severs Real Estate team, and I hope you've got your coffee or your mimosa, whatever it's going to take to get you through this strange time that we're in. We're here to bring you some awesome information from Lisa Van Dorn, Northwest Home Coach. She actually has a master's degree in organizational leadership, and so she will be able to help us maybe make good use of this time when we're stuck inside. Help us declutter, help us spring clean, organize things. And actually, there's a lot of science. She'll tell us more about that too. There's science that explains when you have decluttered, you will actually lower your stress level. And I think we could all use that right now. So join me in welcoming Lisa Van Dorn. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Sure appreciate that. So I'm Lisa Van Dorn. I'm your Northwest Home Coach. We're joining you this morning from Gig Harbor, Washington. I'm super excited to be here. Jen and I originally created this as a collaboration. It was going to be a live event in her office with all kinds of goodies, so much fun. And of course, recent events have changed things. So here we are. I think it's kind of neat because it's a bigger audience. It's going to be more people involved, and I'm super excited that you're all here. Thank you. I have my coffee as well, so here we go.
And also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah.
If you type it in, we'll try and get those questions answered as we go.
Really, really good. Thanks for that.
Hi, Lisa.
So today we're going to talk about decluttering, spring cleaning, and organization. It's kind of a big topic. We have a lot to talk about, so you got to buckle up and hang on. We're going to start with decluttering, because what is the deal with clutter, right? Since 1990, homes have increased in size from 1,500 square feet to 2,300 square feet. And even with that much space, there's no way to even drive our cars into our 3-car garages because they're full of our stuff. So we're a society of consumers, and we're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and we have all this stuff everywhere all the time. It's not good for us. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the dangers of clutter. If I can find my notes here. Goodness gracious, where'd we go?
It's been a morning of challenging technical difficulties.
Really,
We shall
sure.
overcome.
For sure. So clutter is dangerous for your physical health because it's for a lot of reasons. Clutter really impacts the way we make our decisions, and it's not always healthy. So here's one example. Women who store cereal on their counter as opposed to putting it in the cupboard after they're done with it in the morning, they tend to weigh literally 21 pounds more than women who store their cereal away. So if you keep your cereal on the counter, consider other goodies you might keep on the counter, chips or cookies or whatever, put it all away. If it's out of sight, it's out of mind. On the converse, women who store their fruit on the counter, presumably vegetables too, tend to weigh 6 pounds less than those who keep their fruit and vegetables in the refrigerator all the time. So that's kind of an interesting thing. We don't always think of food as clutter, but it can absolutely, it's visual stimuli, it's absolutely clutter in your life. So clutter invites dust, it makes it hard to clean your home. That can be dangerous for those with asthma, with dust mite allergies. My family has both of those, so we got to be really careful to keep the clutter and the dust down. Clutter and visual stimuli causes children to act out. So this is a really interesting thing. We're all home with children right now. The less cluttered your home is, the less your children will act out. So not only does that impact children, but it also impacts parenting. Right? Moms especially right?
Yes,
especially
yes.
now. This is a really interesting time. So the less clutter in your home, the less crazy your children will be, the easier your parenting will be. So clutter also contributes to stress because it impacts your time. So if you waste only 15 minutes a day, which is a really actually low estimate. Most people spend much more time looking for items in their office or on their desk, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you spend only 15 minutes a day looking for items, you're going to lose over the course of a full work year 6 weeks. That's 40, let's see, 60.
It's math.
Okay, I've said 6 weeks, that's wrong. You're going to lose 60 hours of work time, but it's still a week and a half lost of work time. So keep your desk clean, keep your office clean. Right now, your office is inside your home, most of you, and if you need, okay, I'm going to offer a little plug here. If you need help setting up your home office, I can help you do that. Let's make it clean, let's make it uncluttered, let's make it simple. We're gonna make your room more productive for you. So, clutter is bad for your health in so many ways, but it can be overcome. There's husband's laughing because this is our garage at the moment. It's a work in progress. Lots of good things are happening in there, but it always gets worse before it gets better. Barbara Hempel is sort of a decluttering guru, and she says clutter is postponed decisions, which I absolutely agree with. And I had a client very early on in this journey, and it was just a phone consult, and she was telling me how cluttered her garage was. She hadn't been able to park in her garage for 25 years. I knew she had a beautiful yard, a beautiful home. I couldn't imagine that her garage was so cluttered. And I said, well, what's stopping you? What's the deal there? What's stopping? And she said, it's a box of Lego papers. I can't get through those Lego papers because it's just the thing that I can't get through. And I said, well, and then she said, I think about those papers every single day. And I said, if there's a box of papers you've been thinking about every day for 25 years, it's not only cluttering your home, it's cluttering up your heart and your mind. And she said, you're right. And she called me back 2 weeks later, and she had gone into the garage, she went through the box, she went through every paper and dealt with everything that had to be dealt with, and then she tackled that garage like nothing else. She came out with dozens of boxes of donations, dozens of boxes of garbage. She organized everything beautifully, and her whole life was changed. For the first time in 20 years, her husband could park in the garage, and suddenly that whole weight is lifted, and she doesn't have to think about that anymore. So this kind of thing can really have life-changing consequences. Another client who I haven't worked with yet, but she expressed to me this week how she knows that the decluttering is just going to cause so much more freedom in her life as she moves forward and does some new things. So, spring cleaning. There's no better time for spring cleaning, right?
Yes.
Because you're home, your kids are home, you can wrangle the kids to help you out, fingers crossed, right? This is a really good time to do your spring cleaning.
Lisa Finney
Yeah.
has a question. What happens when you're a purger and your husband is a pack rat?
Well,
I have that in my household too. Sorry, Jean, under the bus, run you over.
right. So it's you gotta get the spouse on board, right? If you can talk your spouse into the purpose and the reason for decluttering, if you want to change the purpose of a room, for example, and that can't be done until husband's items are purged or your spouse's items are purged. It helps to get husband on board before you make those moves. So it's a really good question. It takes more than maybe one day. It's probably going to be a longer process, or maybe you can find a space in your home where all those items can go.
Trash can?
I like that idea. But if there's a closet or a man cave where those places can go, then let's do that so you can create purpose for this other space, right?
Yes.
I have a lot of information about like sentimental clutter. How do you manage sentimental clutter? That's a hard one even for me.
That's huge, yeah.
Yes. So there are ways of overcoming that, and we can talk about that. And if she wants I wrote an article about sentimental clutter, and I can just send it to her as well.
Okay.
Right. So while you're spring cleaning, start from the outside in. I want you to start at your front door, right? This is a really good time to like power wash your front steps and the sidewalk. It's a really good time to wash the windows, polish up the hardware. You can replace your plants for something more seasonal. If you're really ready for a change, you can repaint your front door a new fun color. Maybe you replace the light fixtures, maybe you replace the lock set. There are a lot of things you can do to make your front door look more welcoming. Additionally, maybe a new mat, like welcome mat, or a wreath on the door. There are a lot of things you can do to brighten up that space. While you're at it, go to every other entrance into your home and check out and see if they are serving their purpose, right? Make sure that doors aren't blocked, make sure the locks work, make sure the windows are clean. There are a lot of things you can do to make those things work. So I would encourage you to do that. And then when you've done the entryways, I want you to walk through your house and walk into every room as though you've never been there before. Start by removing any item that doesn't belong. That could be garbage. If it's garbage, you throw it out. If it's a donation, you put it in a donation box. If it belongs in another room, you bring it to that other room right away. Collect anything that does belong in the room and then gather it like in a basket or in a box or in a bin, something that's beautiful and handy and purposeful for that room. So, and then you clean that room from the top down, right? Maybe you clean your curtains, maybe you dust all the furniture, maybe you clean all the slip covers on your furniture, maybe you fluff your pillows, you wash your carpets, or at least air them out. There's a lot you can do. Don't neglect your closets. If you have a closet in your room that's not yet decluttered, your room's not decluttered yet. So deal with every inch of every room. If you keep dry goods, consider buying glass containers. This is like working in the kitchen. So I love these glass containers. Some of these I've had ever since we got married more than 20 years ago. And even mason jars. It helps to see what you have, and it helps keep things as fresh as possible. And they look great. I like it. This spring cleaning is a really good time to check safety items in your home. You can check the batteries in your CO and smoke detectors. You can see if any light bulbs need replacing in your appliances or your fixtures. It might be a good time to change your furnace filter. Whoops, sorry. It's a good time to change the water filter in your fridge. Have you ever cleaned the air filter in your range hood? If you've never done that, This is a really good time to do it.
Nasty, nasty.
It's a good time to clean your stove, clean your refrigerator, clean your freezer, even look at your dishwasher. You may not know that most dishwashers have a filter. If you've never cleaned it, you got to do it now. This is the time. Okay. This is, we have a lot of time on our hands right now. And I want you to remember, you don't have to do every room right now. Just do one room a day, right? Consider doing one room a day to really make an impression in your house. It will make you so much happier to, one, live there, and two, like prepare food there. It's better, way better. I have a spring cleaning checklist that I've created for you. If you would like a copy of the spring cleaning checklist, I will email it to you. To do that, leave your email either as a comment on this Facebook Live or as a message. You could do a Facebook message, and I'll send it to everyone who leaves me their email. Putting your email in will also enter you to win this glorious gift basket that I'll be showing you as we go along here. So we have lots of opportunity just put in your email addresses and I'll send you the spring cleaning checklist. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about decluttering. We've talked a little bit about spring cleaning. Now we'll talk about organizing. As you declutter and as you clean, you'll have lots and lots of opportunity to organize. Here are my top tips for keeping, I have 3 top tips for keeping your space more organized. Number 1 is keep like items with like items. This image shows like a sewing kit that I put together. I did a bunch of these for all the young women in my life one year, and this one went to my daughter. So keep like items together. Figure out ways to keep like items together, and you can use this in every single room in your home. For example, in the kitchen, I keep all my cutting things together on a magnetic bar.
Ooh, that's cool. I like that.
Super handy. Super handy. These came from IKEA. I think we did 2 together right there. So that's great. And it's a little safer than keeping them in a drawer, maybe, especially if you have little kids. Here's another way I keep like items together. We have the wooden spoons in one bin, the other tools in another bin, and then oils and salt and pepper and vinegar on a tray. These are items I use every day, so that's another idea in your kitchen. Just use just keep on the counter the things that you use every day. Everything else can be put away, right? In our house, it's these items plus the toaster plus the fruit. So spices. Everybody has expired spices in their cabinet. I'm betting you right now that you have expired spices in your cabinet. I would encourage you to go through and take out anything expired, make a list of anything you need to replace, and go ahead and do that. And then use one of these risers to store your spices. This riser is something that I'll be including in the gift basket. It's such a cool way to store your spices, and this is something I've used with a couple different clients recently to really, really great effect. So I love that for spices, but think about how that could be handy like in a craft room as well, or I don't know, the garage or the laundry room. This can be used for a lot of things. So
And is that what's in that photo also?
that's in the photo. Yep, that's the one in the photo.
That's awesome.
Yep, and so that's going in the gift basket.
So Steve has a question. How long do you keep? Is it keep the spices or keep? Yeah. How long do you keep spices? How long before they expire?
That's a really good question. I don't have an exact answer for that. A year is probably too long for most spices.
Whoops.
If you buy your spices in a already packaged, then there will be an expiration date on there. If you buy your spices in bulk, like I do, because it's way less expensive, you can put a little date, like just even with a permanent marker on the glass container, just write a little date, and then a year out, consider giving it the shove. Everybody has expired spices, I'm telling you right now.
Well, especially if you buy, those bulk kits where you have 10, 20 different spices. It looks nice at the time. They're all, matching containers and evenly filled. And then you use the ones that you use every day. Mm-hmm. And there's probably a good 7 or 8, at least in my shelf, that never get used. I don't know. I'm embarrassed to go through my spice cabinet.
Right. Let them go. But you can refill them in the bulk section at the grocery store.
Yep.
Right? There's a really neat section there. It's so affordable. It's a really good way to go. Also, if your spices aren't labeled, label them. So because even I, like, there are things in my cabinet, I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know. Is it chili powder or is it paprika?
Yeah.
So label it when you get it. Here's another kitchen tip. It's my favorite thing in the kitchen. Buy all white dishware and serveware. And when you do that, you can always replace items really inexpensively, because it's really easy to find white dinnerware anywhere you go. Mm-hmm. And then you can buy vintage, you can buy new, you can buy high end, you can buy low end. It all looks good together because it all matches. So that's kind of a neat thing to do.
And then you can use any kind of placemats or chargers. Yeah,
Yes.
any setting you can make white work with.
It's really easy to build a beautiful table
Mhm.
when you do that, for sure. Okay, here's another example of keeping like items together. I love locker baskets for everything, and this is where I keep a lot of my yarn for knitting. I don't crochet, but you could do it for crocheting as well. Locker baskets are awesome. I also keep fabric in bins, and I separate like quilting fabric from upholstery fabric, for example. So keeping light items together really helps a lot. So when my daughter is actively painting, she can put all her painting supplies on a Lazy Susan. So look, I have 2 of these. These also are going in the gift basket. I can, as an example, you can kind of see how this works, right? If you put this on a cabinet, maybe on a higher shelf or a really deep shelf, it's a lot easier to see what you have, right? So these are wonderful. I've used these with clients recently as well. So I've included a couple sizes in the gift basket. I love them for everything. So they can be used like for art supplies like you see in the picture here. Here's another example for like,
Oh, yes.
right? So vitamins. When you have your kids and they're coming and going every morning, you can quick say, take your vitamin, take your allergy med, whatever. It can all live right there. And it's so easy for everyone. It could live on the breakfast table most of the time if you want. It's just kind of a neat way to make sure everybody gets what they need. So here's another thing to do to keep your life a little more organized. Everything has a place. So if you're going to look for your scissors in the kitchen, put them in a spot in the kitchen, and then every time you use them, they go right back there. If you know that you're going to look for your scissors in the sewing room, put them in the sewing room. They go right back there. Everything in your life should have a place that you know you'll look for it. So you put that item in that place, and then you'll always know where it is, right? It might not make sense to anyone else. But if you know your gardening shears are on the shelf next to the flower pots in the garage, then you're always going to find them right there because you're always going to put them back there, and that's where you're going to look for them. So everything in your house should have a place where it belongs. So
And that's really a training thing, right? To
is.
keep up with putting things back in their place. I work with the boys every day on putting things back where they belong.
right.
But it's so much easier because then you know exactly where to go to get them, whether it's car keys or your jacket or whatever.
Right. So you mentioned car keys. That's awesome. I keep a hook right next to the door leading from the garage into the house. And the keys, I've had to train my kids too. The keys just go right back on there automatically. And my husband too, he's trained as well. So the keys go on there. Then most of the time it works, and most of the time we know where to find them. Most of the time they're not lost. It's awesome. So that's really good. So here's another example of like items being kept together. This is just the island in our kitchen. Pots and pans on the bottom shelf. Mixing bowls that I use every day on that higher shelf, and then a basket full of lunch snacks. So my son makes his lunch right there every day, and that's where all that is. It makes it really easy. And then I would encourage you to hide items in plain sight. So this beautiful basket is part of the giveaway, and I would use this for blankets in the living room or pillows. You could put it in your bedroom. It could be a laundry basket. You could put a lot of things in here. You could put a plant. This could like be the base for a plant. That would be beautiful. So
We use a pretty basket at home for all of the animal toys, the dog toys and things.
yes.
So that when I get fed up with them being all over the floor, or if I'm going to vacuum, they all go into a pretty basket.
Exactly. So that's really good for pet toys, kid toys even,
Oh, yes,
right?
kid toys.
Like how fun would this be filled with Legos, right? And you just know they all go back there. I mean, that's a lot of Legos. I know kids with a lot of Legos.
We had that many.
Right. So that would be really fun. This basket right here happens to be my sewing basket. It's lovely, but it hides a lot of chaos, right? There's 3 levels of chaos in there. So
Oh my gosh, even the inside's organized?
right. So I always know that I can find whatever I'm looking for inside there. That's kind of neat. So a couple other items that I wanted to make sure to show you. This little Enlight candle is custom designed for Sievers. Can you tell the story behind this candle?
Sure. So the Sievers Real Estate Team and Keller Williams has a Relay for Life team. We're big supporters of Relay for Life, a fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. So one of the ways that we raise money is Enlight Candle Company has created this scent, A Light for Life. It's just for the Relay for Life fundraiser. And so we sell these candles, and half of the proceeds will go to fundraising for the American Cancer Society. It's a wonderful scent, and this is the only time of year that you can buy it, is while we're fundraising for Relay for Life. And so this candle will also be going into the gift basket.
So it's like citrus. What is it?
I don't know.
It's beautiful. It's a really nice scent, like almost grapefruit.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yep, it's kind of clean, kind of grapefruit, citrus.
Yeah.
And it has a great throw. You want to know what that means? That means even if the lid's off but it's not lit, you can still smell the candle nearby.
Mm-hmm.
It has a good ambiance and smell even when it's not lit. Yeah,
I like
exactly.
that. Okay. Yeah, this is better than anything you'll find at Home Goods.
It's 100% soy, so it burns clean and burns almost completely.
Very cool. Okay. After your home is all decluttered, it's kind of nice to layer in some really nice things. So also with this giveaway, I've included this beautiful throw, which would be gorgeous on your bed. It would be gorgeous on your couch. You could snuggle up with your kids. That's a really fun thing. So there's that. And then I've also included, who doesn't love Martha Stewart? She has a beautiful section in here on organizing, but then a lot of other things too. A lot of things you need to know about how to manage things in your home. This is a book that I'm not going to get to keep this one, but I might just go get it for myself too, because there's a lot of really good stuff. So if you're interested in signing up for this giveaway, which is all these items right here, go ahead and leave your email address in Facebook message to Northwest Home Coach or to Sievers Real Estate Team, or you can leave it in a comment below. I will also send you the spring cleaning checklist, so everybody gets the spring cleaning checklist or an opportunity to win any of these items. Jen, when should this Facebook Live will be posted on our sites for a few days, right?
Yeah, do you think that we should draw next Saturday, a week from now?
Sure.
Is
How
that the
about
20th?
10 o'clock on Saturday morning on the 28th.
8th. All right, that
Sound
sounds good. Yes.
Okay, so everybody who leaves their email address in either messages for Northwest Home Coach or Sievers Real Estate Team, or in the comments of either one of those, will have an opportunity to win this gift basket.
Woo woo.
So excited. Let me show you one more thing. This is kind of fun. Everybody loves a before and after.
Yes.
I wanted to show you a before of our home. This is the room that was the formal dining room. Our house is really wide open to every other room, so this room was no exception. We needed an office. We didn't need a formal dining room, so we kind of thought, how can we make it more of an office? So, and actually none of this furniture is ours. This is this was a photo taken before we moved in, and it's the previous owner's stuff. So here's what we did. We had shelves built in on 2 walls. Now there's a window seat back there that you can't really see. We brought in my old desk and just kind of styled it out in a way that's really useful and helpful for our family. We love it. I think it's such a cool before and after. And it just shows you kind of the possibilities that you can do with your home. It's the kind of thing that I'd love to do for you as Northwest Home Coach. I help with design, decluttering, organization, maybe downsizing or moving. I'm available for all those things, and I'd love to help you out. And are there any other questions? Have any other questions come through?
Do you find, and maybe I'm not sure how much generational work you do, but do you find that there is such thing as a clutterbug gene that gets passed along from one generation to the next? I think I'm happy to say I broke the chain in my house. My mom's a collector and I'm not. But do you often see that from generation to generation?
I have seen, it's all learned behavior, right? So we know what we grow up with. It's kind of special to know that you can outgrow those things as well, right?
Yeah.
It's all behavior. You learn things one way and you can change it or not. So I think some people will live in a way that they grew up with, and others will learn a different way. So.
And we also have a comment that we love the rainbow bookshelf.
Oh, fun.
I love the color coordination that you have going on there. It's
Excellent,
so great.
Excellent. Thank my daughter for that one.
Nice, love it.
She's a designer too.
Good.
Great.
Any more questions?
Not over here.
Excellent.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. And I hope that
Absolutely.
everybody at home has a good, productive quarantine.
Absolutely. If anyone has questions, they can send a message. I'm happy to answer questions online as well. I'm also, I should mention this, I can do online consults where I work with people through FaceTime or Zoom. They can take me around their room with their own phone and I can work with them that way.
Awesome.
So
Very
I don't
good.
have to be on site. Great.
Perfect.
Thank you. Happy Saturday. So
All
good
right.
to be here with all of you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Take